when you was mentioning the matriarchal heads having, you know, slight misogynistic undertones, this happens throughout in Africa and in other communities as well.
In the UK.
No, not in that sense. No, but you use this term.
That's more
yeah, you use that term misogynistic. But when it happens in other, it's not really misogynistic. It's just that even in more matriarchally admiring cultures, there's that understanding that the female leaders are more manly.
Yeah,
it's just an except because the masculine traits are they're defined. There's a certain definition. So if you're a woman, it's fine. You can have them. Masculine traits.
Yeah, but what masculine traits are we talking
being
about?
Being aggressive, being cold, not being emotional, not being soft, being hard. These things, being militant, all these things. So that is a king. These are qualities kings must have in certain times. You can't not have them.
Masculine energy that we all carry.
So it's not misogynistic, is what I'm getting at. When you're saying it in that context, there, I was just thinking that, well, is that really what's happening? Because this is how a European would say, but because that's how they do it.
I would argue,
but from in African cultures, they would let female queens be classified as kings. Then the female queen would actually take on male habits to represent her kingship, because she understands this is what it means to be the king, the leader of everyone. I've got to actually take on less feminine traits and I have to take on masculine traits, because we define these traits this way.
We don't
have them equally. That's nonsense.
How do we have them? I'm a man. Masculine, and I've got feminine, masculine, and it's just dependent on which one. Like what we're saying, like with Queen Nana, which one you might exert more. Yeah, there are some basic ones that go for both of us. I agree, but we've both got masculine and female energy, because again,
but we don't have them equally.
All right, okay, all right, I won't, all right, we'll...
We don't have them equally, I'm a man.
In different ways, we have them equally. So I might have my feminine in this way, but you can still tap into that feminine in the way that you might approach certain things. Like what Queen Nanny had to take on to be more masculine. It doesn't mean that she wasn't feeling some feminine.
I mean, when I say misogyny,
when I say
misogyny, though, I would argue that, I know for a fact that some of the prominent female leaders in marine communities have experienced barriers to their leadership that they would say the men don't want me to lead in this kind of way. And it may well
I know what you're saying then.
It may well be of pride.
So I know what you're saying. That's different to what I thought you were saying. That's different to what I thought you were saying.
Okay.
That's different to what I thought you were saying. Yeah. So basically you're just talking about men not wanting to be led by a woman.
Yeah,
that kind of
a lot of men struggle to take orders from a woman.
That's different.
That we know.
This is the emotional stuff.
No, that wasn't no emotional stuff at all. That was my logical brain talking and saying what was real.
Okay.
Go on. What I wanted to kind of go speak to is some of my initiations.
Yeah.
I guess some of my experiences in Jamaica as a child, although initiation wasn't overtly stated, I was exposed to ritual points.
Before you go there, what is an initiation? What do you mean by that term?
So initiation, I would define as a process of learning and training specific cultural practices in any order or any spiritual system. So although the Judaic systems don't have an overt initiation, most of the esoteric aspects of all religions will have aspects of initiation.
I would argue taking Shahada as an initiation.
Yeah, definitely.
Baptism is an initiation.
Yeah.
They just don't use that term. I say that because you got to be that term. People attach that term to occultism, and therefore it's negative. So just being clear and to demystify the term, what it is, because baptism is an initiation. Bar mitzvah is an initiation into manhood. And all of these, they all do initiations. They just don't use those terms. When you use it, people will think, ooh.
So I mean, I think